could all, or any considerations of open session agenda changes?
I'd like to add under information updates to make item A presentation from Mr. Thorpe from NCSBA about the superintendent search process and bump everything else down.
Any other agenda changes? All right, if we could all please take a moment of silence. Thank you. Anyone sign up for closed comments?
Yes, sir. You have two.
Citizens who signed up to address the board will be called up in order of the sign-up sheet. Each individual speaker will be allowed 3 minutes for remarks. Issues or concerns involving personnel complaints relating to identifiable school personnel or student matters are not appropriate for this public forum. After 30 minutes of public hearing, any speakers remaining will be recognized at the end of the agenda. First, we have Mr. Wayne White.
Good evening. My name is Wayne White, or I think it's listed as G. Wayne White. I don't really do that. It's just a habit. So Wayne White, I'm from Camden, been in Camden all my life. I don't know if you want to say my address or not, but anyway, you used to have to say your address. But anyway, it's just two things I want to talk about. First is, of course, I'm sure what's on everybody's mind in this county is our new high school. And we need to do whatever we can do. And I think the county needs to jump in and help anything we can do to help you to get this rolling as quickly. I mean, there's not many times in the history of any kind of state government that we get $50 million given to us. It's okay, go build you a school. And I think that's something we really need. Whatever we can do to get together on it, you know, yeah, I'm not trying to say it's anybody's problem, the commissioners or the Board of Education, or is it just things within the county that's holding it up. I don't know if there's anything to do with the land and anything like that, but whatever we need to do, we need to get rolling on it. I hope we don't lose this money, but then again, I think the taxpayers see that we have this money and want to get it done, because especially since we're all in the county paying the extra money right now to pay for the bond referendum. That 70+ % of the county voted for it. So I really appreciate it. Whatever we can do. If there's any differences, let's work out the differences. If anything between the boards, let's work them out. But I really think from the county, I'm hearing it all over the county, and they even stopped me now because I'm way removed from y'all's positions, but I get asked a lot, what's going on? I said, y'all need to talk to somebody else, but still we need to do whatever we can. And the second thing, I would say the best of Dr. Farrell on his next step. And I think he's, as someone said earlier tonight in the thing that said, y'all won the lottery on the best superintendent when y'all got him. And now y'all got to win the second lottery. So we need to start scratching a whole lot of tickets so we can get the next superintendent that is at least as good as him. I don't know we can find better than him, but I think that's my feeling. But then again, but still, I believe that we need to do the best we can and that's going to be another big decision in the months coming up. And I really think, set that all aside, good luck on your trip to Richmond County. I really think they're definitely gaining. They're definitely gaining, something, good. I don't even know who they had before, but they're gaining. So again, appreciate it. I hope I didn't stay over my 3 minutes, but just remember, all I can think of every time I see one of y'all, I'm gonna say high school. We just need to see what we can do to fix it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sissy Adler.
Sure. You boys are scared, aren't you? I know it. Look, I want you guys to zoom in. Can you zoom in on this shirt? Here you go. Don't tie me yet. I'll be quiet.
Extra privileges.
I'm going to punch every one of you in the arm on the way out of here.
I almost set the timer. I didn't worry about Wayne.
So I know you didn't. So I wanted to come tonight because my last board meeting was in November. And I don't know, from being upset about it being my last meeting and trying to remember everything as I was thanking everybody, I realized that there were a couple very important people that I had not thanked when I was saying goodbye. And so tonight I wanted to come and I wanted to have the opportunity to do that. And so first, I would like to thank Joe Farrell. Um, and when I talk about the board, I always included Joe Farrell in the board because he was one of my guys, he's one of my boys. And so I just wanted the opportunity to thank you and to tell you how much I appreciate everything that you have done for this school system in the last 5 years. I wanted to tell you that you are the best of the best. And I've never worried about anything with you steering this ship. And Joe Farrell, you are everything that a superintendent should be. You are kind, you're honest, you're smart, you're good, you're fair, you're an excellent manager of people, of money, of everything. You are just good to the core. And I appreciate you so much for everything that you are and everything that you've done for our school in the last 5 years. And you are a rock star. And if nobody has ever told you, I am so glad to be the first. And not many people would wear this shirt out in public. And, I just wanted to thank you and thank you for being my friend and thank you for the last 5 years. And so secondly, which poor David Idlet, he's always second. But he takes it so well. I wanted to thank my husband because the 8 years on the Board of Education was tough, There were a lot of nights that I was here with you boys till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And, it wasn't anything to get a text at 12 a.m. Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm all right. This is where I am. And I take a picture of the boys and this is where we are. And so anyway, David Idley has supported me so much and put up with my many moods after I left here wanting. And Megan, I don't mean to exclude you, but
Feel free.
no, girl, enjoy it while you can. But he's put up with my many moods coming in, whether I was upset about something that had gone on with a meeting or a child or just whatever. He's put up with me and all of my stress, in the last 8 years. And he's continuing to put up with me as a county commissioner. So he's a rock star. And my children who, Ben Idlet has come home from college and his mom was at a meeting till 12 o'clock at night and, never got to see him, when he came home until the next morning. And Alex, he had to miss, a lot of meals with me being gone. And he might have enjoyed me not being there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just kidding myself. But I'd like to thank, again, my family and Joe Farrell. You are a rock star. Thank you. And I'm going to hug you, even though you don't like to be touched. Come on.
It's not that I don't like to be touched. It's not always appropriate in a professional environment. Thank you.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, can you zoom in on this so I got records of the sheriff's department?
Oh, thank you.
That is all for public comment. Unless anyone else wants to step up.
Tough act
Everybody
to
good?
follow.
Love for you too.
Might be in the States sitting me up here, but anyway. My name is Chris Wilson. I'm a Camden native, born and raised right here. And Camden has always been a part of my heart. School systems, teachers, children. And then there was Dr. Farrell. I was so glad when we found you. At first, I had my doubts. Because I just did. I've been through a lot in the board system. So, but when you came in and the decisions that you were making and all the things that you were doing for the county and for the system, I agree with it. We became real good friends. You're going to be greatly missed in this county. Now, just hope that we don't have to get a new superintendent every 5 years. But wherever you're going, I wish you the best. Thank you. And thank you for everything that you've done for the board, for the county, and for me. And basically, I will give you a hug, but I don't roll like that, Doc.
You already gave me a great handshake. Thank you, Chris. I know we don't normally respond to public comment, but if you would indulge me for a second. Wayne, to answer because we've heard a lot of it too, the two boards are working very well together right now. We're in what should hopefully be the final stages of the legal things that are necessary for land and things like that that's happening in closed session. Progress is still moving. Construction stuff can't start until the land is done and they can get under due diligence to actually go on the land, start taking samples. But as far as anything between the boards or anything, it's actually going very well right now. I think the two boards are working better than they have in quite some time, and it's moving along. So if they ask you, obviously they can reach out to us, but it's the final little legal hurdles of getting everything signed and dotted that hopefully we can begin the process in the next couple of months, I hope. So.
We still got signs.
And we appreciate all the signs and the help y'all did in getting it passed.
That's great. The biggest thing is two things to think about: think of the children, and then also think, if something does happen, please let get Mr. Newspaper here, let him get some in the paper of what's going on, so we can know.
No, and that's why I wanted to comment back is that there's no friction between the commissioners and this board. We're actually doing very well together. It's now just at the attorney's hands of getting contracts drawn and all that. So hopefully he's not in this one. He's our attorney. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that's clear in the county. There's no button heads between the two boards right now. It's more or less just literally trying to get paperwork finalized so we can start things on the land. So it is moving. I promise it's not stopped, and we're not looking to give back $50 million to anybody. They're going to have to fight to come take it.
It's been a dream. I know two guys sitting here since we bought that piece of land, or had the county buy that piece of land. That was a dream that we would like to see. No Christian, but we bought the piece of land. It's a dream.
If we could all stand, and Miss Alexis McCoy is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Somebody leave their phone.
That's you, Chris.
I had a reason to come back.
Is it unlocked?
No, it ain't unlocked.
Tonight, the board would like to recognize Rachel Tarkington, who could not join us. She's joining us via live stream because she's now away at college. but we wanted to recognize her tonight for her impressive achievements in FFA while at Camden County High School. Rachel joined FFA in 7th grade and was an active member and leader in the organization through her senior year. Serving several years as the Northeast Regional FFA officer for several years, she competed in various career development events, including Creed and public speaking. She is now pursuing a career in agriculture because she understands that feeding America is an important issue in our global future. She proudly represented our Camden FFA chapter in receiving her American FFA degree in October. The American FFA degree is the highest degree achievable in the National FFA organization, requiring members to earn at least $10,000 in their supervised agriculture experience while productively investing at least $7,500 of the earnings. Along with having already earned their state FFA degrees, Rachel is a tremendous asset to the agriculture industry, and we are extremely proud of her for earning this prestigious award. Rachel, on behalf of the Camden County Board of Education, congratulations for not only this achievement, but for all you have achieved up to this point and for all you are sure to achieve in your future endeavors. A job well done. There's Miss Rachel Tarkington's board spotlight. Rachel.
I'll put a picture of yourself.
If I could have the honor of Dr. Farrell joining me, please. When the School Board Association called me for a reference for you last spring, I knew this day was coming sooner than I hoped. I told Dr. Farrell I made up as much bad stuff as possible so no one else would want to hire him. It is hard to see someone you value so much leave. But if it is from promotion and benefit, we're very happy for you. As you all know, Dr. Farrell will be leaving us at the end of this week and will be transitioning to Richmond County Schools. He began his tenure in Camden on November 1st, 2017, and from day one, he has led our district forward. When our board conducted the search which brought him to us, one of the key qualities we sought was someone with a servant's heart, someone who would be willing to put the well-being of our kids above all else. He has been exactly that person. Dr. Farrell, we appreciate that one of the first steps you took to get to know our district was to conduct a listening and learning tour. You invited feedback from staff, students, parents, and local government officials. You walked into an established high-achieving system that needed some tweaks, but was not broken by any account. But you listened and observed first, and you've made steady and wise decisions to move us forward. After gaining an appreciation and understanding of our district, you developed a strategic plan, followed it, and regularly reported on the goals achieved for each strategy. You reorganized central office and implemented staff support where it was needed. You revived the Teacher Advisory Council, established a Classified Advisory Council, established a Parent Community Advisory Council, and implemented an allotment process to improve fiscal efficacy. To celebrate each school, you established shout-outs to be shared among staff to showcase highlights at each grade level. You also met to have lunch with a group of students from each grade level each 9 weeks. This was time you spent with just students, and we know you enjoyed these lunches and found them very informative. Probably a little entertaining.
And very entertaining.
You implemented MTSS and created a profile of a graduate. You made the safety and security of our students and staff a top priority, and Camden County schools are much safer for all your efforts. Our growing population has a new high school within sight with $50 million in grants awarded. You have done everything the board has asked of you to make this project a reality. There are more achievements than I could mention, and you should be proud of all your accomplishments. It is important that you know that your leadership will continue to be reflected in all you have brought to our district in the years ahead. On behalf of Camden County Board of Education, we thank you for your service, for your leadership, and the commitment you've made to Camden County schools. We know you will be successful in your new role, and we wish you much happiness, both professionally and personally. Please stay in touch, and please come back to visit. Thank you very, very much. So I'd like to present you with this plaque as a symbol of our appreciation. And if the rest of the board would like to join, I'd be glad to have you. And let's take a picture with Dr. Farrell. Step out here.
Yes.
Come on, Chris. And Chris, you got
Come on, Chris.
All right.
I'm gonna
Y'all hire
me and Jennifer with
you
the
don't
show.
know.
I'm gonna get right in the middle.
Get in there, Jason.
You know I gotta hug Joe Farrell.
Oh, bring it. Oh. I got it. You're now a little bit slow now.
Wait.
Hurry up, I can't hold my breath.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm having technical problems. I was talking to Dr. Farrell about this earlier. I don't know how to use anything that, you know.
And I could be of no help to you.
Yeah, okay, I've got it solved.
Okay, wait a minute. Joe Farrell, take a picture of me with my shirt.
Is she kicking this
I
upside?
think
Yeah.
she's kicking us out. I don't know what she's doing.
You do it this way?
It doesn't matter.
You do realize this is the one that landed on the front page.
That'd be great.
May I say one thing?
Dr. Banks, if I could have a
You certainly.
moment of personal
Yes.
privilege.
Yes, you may.
Do you want me to sit down?
No, sir. First of all, I'd like to thank former board members that I served with. Some of, one, two who helped hire Dr. Farrell. All that have helped me grow as a board member. And I was a little nervous when Dr. Farrell came, never being a superintendent before, but I felt confident that we had hired a good leader and had all the qualities that Sissy mentioned earlier. But I just want to say I do appreciate seeing you over the 5 years grow into the superintendent you are today. The many conversations we had, the hard conversations that we were always able to talk through, and what an asset you have been to our school system and the county. I just want to say personally how much I appreciate it and wish you the best on your next adventure. And just to all let you know, there is one thing that he has not done that he was told to do by a board member, and that he's leaving before I've gotten off the board. And now I have to hire another superintendent.
I apologize for
Okay.
that.
But no, I understand it's a great opportunity for you, and it just is testament to how you have grown as a superintendent and to be one of the best in the state.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. If I may take just a moment, for the record, I was also very nervous on November 1st, 2017. I remember that my first thought, I will never forget it, is why in the world did I apply for this job? Many of you have heard me say many times that my favorite job that I've ever had was a high school principal. But really reflecting on that, that might still be true. But I have learned more in this job than any other job that I've ever had. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity. To the board, the members who are currently in place, who took a chance on me, as well as Sissy and Chris. I really do appreciate that. We have done a lot of good things in 5 years. I've not done that alone. And Amber Davis, we don't cry in public, right? I know. But I'm saying that, I needed that moment to get the, to get the emotions away. But but I really did not do this work alone, and I know that you know that, but I could not be recognized or sent off in a better way tonight. But I do want to say that the staff here is amazing. Some of my favorite people are on my tie tonight. This is my direct team. And I'm toying with the idea of wearing this on Monday for my swearing in ceremony in Richmond County, because I think I need to make a statement, right? That they've got big shoes to fill. And so I want to say thank you to all of you for your support and your kindness, the hard work that you do for children. But most importantly, where I'm concerned, I want to thank you for your friendship and the fact that we care about each other as people. And so with that, please build a new high school. I know that's important to you. It's important to me. I will be back for the ribbon cutting if you will allow that. And so I just appreciate every opportunity. Thank you.
Open session to appear.
No one has requested to appear.
Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Information updates. Mr. Sam Thorpe from the North Carolina School Board Association for an update in the superintendent search process.
Evening, board members. Thank you for having me here tonight. It's good to be here in person. As a brief aside, I would just say that was so tremendously touching. There's clearly something very special and exceptional, actually, that you've cultivated here. I do not always see that between a board and a superintendent. And congrats to you, Dr. Farrell. I know that's earned and took a lot of hard work, what you've created here. With that having been said, as you know, I'm here to present the survey results that from the surveys that you began sharing with your staff and community a few weeks ago in January. I want to say around January 17th. There are two parts to my presentation. First, and I've got a PowerPoint over here to help me with this, but I'm going to briefly walk through the results of the surveys that were completed by the staff and community. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of detailed information about what sorts of things, characteristics, traits, experience are most important to them in a new superintendent. And then for the second part of the presentation, I'll transition and facilitate a discussion with you, the board, where each of you will have the opportunity to share with the staff and community what sorts of things are most important to you in a new superintendent, as informed by the feedback that you've now had a chance to review via the surveys completed by your staff and community. I'm going to take notes during that discussion, and based on the items that's generated during it, I'll go create what we call a custom leadership profile, a custom candidate rating chart, and boards find those two documents really helpful when they're reviewing applications, interviewing candidates, and of course deciding who the district's new superintendent is going to be. So beginning with part one, this is not. Oh, forgive me. I apologize. Oh, okay. You had pretty good, reasonably good participation in the surveys by your staff and community. Specifically, in total, you received 93 responses to the community survey and 110 responses to the staff survey. And of those who responded, 24 community members and 41 staff members submitted written comments. So in some cases, very detailed, extensive, even written comments discussing issues of importance to them that they would like you, the board, to take into consideration when you began reviewing applications and interviewing folks in the next few weeks. And like I said, these are pretty good response numbers given the size of your school system and your community. So many thanks to you, the board, as well as to your school system staff, your board clerk, your PIO, folks who got the word out and encouraged folks to complete the survey. More importantly, and really most importantly, many, many thanks. And I mean that very sincerely to the staff members and community members that took time out of their busy schedules to respond to the surveys and provide you with very thoughtful, meaningful feedback to inform your superintendent search process. Just to give you a little bit of demographic information about the respondents, of the community members who responded to the survey, the vast majority live within the attendance area for the Camden County schools and or have one or more children who are attending a school within the district. Of the staff members who responded, vast majority were teachers, who of course make up the majority of your workforce, and that was followed pretty uniformly by school and district level support staff and administrators. You also had, at least proportionately speaking, you had a fair amount of folks who identify as other, which I think is worth noting. I'll tell you what.
Did I get too far? The clicker's not working.
It's just not working, period. So yeah, if you could just hit the next slide. So what the survey did first is it asked participants to rate numerically from 1 to 5 the characteristics that are most important to them in a new superintendent, with 1 being not at all important, 5 being extremely important. If you'll go to the next slide. Pretty high level of agreement within the top 5 characteristics between your staff and community. All 5 are the same. They just happen to be in a little bit of a different order. And those top 5 are: understands how to effectively advocate for needed resources, is willing to listen to input, understands how to provide safe environments for students and staff, models high standards of integrity, and knows how to encourage staff, students, parents, and community members to work together. If you'll go to the next slide. Even higher level of agreement, arguably, in the next 5 characteristics. The characteristics 6 through 9 are exactly the same, and they're in an identical order. And those are: has a strong understanding of school finance, budgets, and business management, communicates well with people of all races and socioeconomic status, is accessible and responds to concerns in a timely fashion, and is able to develop and effectively communicate a vision for the school system. Only differing characteristic in the top 10 for the community is willing to take new approaches to teaching and learning. Only differing characteristic for the staff was supports firm discipline in schools. If you'll go to the next slide. So the second part of the survey asked respondents to rate numerically, again, 1 to 5, the types of experience that are most important to them in a new superintendent. And if you'll go to the next slide, just like with the first part, high level of agreement between the staff and community. So exact same top 5, they're just in a little bit of a different order. And those are: has experience in curriculum development and instruction, has experience with building, maintaining, and managing schools, has been a successful principal, effective classroom teacher, and assistant or associate superintendent. So in addition to those survey responses, you also got about a third of the total 200 plus survey respondents also submitted written comments, in some cases pretty detailed, extensive written comments. Again, identifying issues that they would like you to take into consideration throughout the remainder of the superintendent search process. We, NCSBA, do not summarize those comments because we don't want to editorialize, misinterpret, in any way miscommunicate the feedback that your staff and community are trying to give you. And so what we do instead is we post those comments, full unredacted copies of those comments, to Assembly and give you a chance to review them well in advance of the meeting. And so you've had, I think, 10 or 11 days to look at those comments, as well as the survey responses that I've summarized tonight. That concludes the first part of my presentation. Before we move to the second, I want to give you, if there are any questions about the surveys, about the summary report that I've presented, the comments, or anything about the search process that you have a question about, I'm happy to to answer it. Nope. Okay, well, now I'd like to pivot and stop talking and take notes and give you the opportunity just to briefly share, based on the survey and feedback that you've had, the surveys and the feedback you've had a chance to review, what sorts of things are most important to you in a new superintendent. Someone like Joe. Okay. I don't want to put you on the spot. You know, if you're more comfortable emailing them to me, that's fine too. I know it can be awkward.
I think a combination between the community staff. I mean, both of the top fives are
Right.
all legitimate top 5 criteria.
I can put all of those in there.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree the same. I felt about the same way as me and staff. All those issues are the most important. And then like Jason said, you can find us another judge. That's nice too. Good luck.
Better options. You don't have a twin anywhere. We'd take a fraternal one.
Um,
Same, I think a lot of it's about leadership, personnel management, the roles of the superintendent, and the fiscal management of our budget and facilities.
Fiscal. Thank you. Well, unless anyone has any other specific ones, I can go with this list of 15 plus what you shared, Mr. Overton, and I can get that drawn up pretty quickly. And of course, I'll share those documents probably before the application closes, but I'll also post those along with the application materials, but I'll send you plenty of stuff explaining.
I guess like school construction experience would be a plus, but I mean, if
Right.
you have it, but I don't know how many would have it. Obviously, with what we're facing, you know.
Right.
And it may not be necessarily, new school construction, but renovation projects. So, I mean,
Right.
just some sort of construction experience within a district that they've dealt with. The multi-level experience factor, I think, is huge, which is reflected in those top 5.
And I know the high school
Mhm.
is top of mind, not just for y'all, but the entire community. Nothing else?
No, I mean, I went through and I think complete a survey, so it didn't show up, but I had the survey question. I didn't want to buy,
Right,
but
sure.
that's the same top 5 of the other, and that was my 5 on there as well. I mean, I think everybody's pretty much in pretty close alignment. I mean, that's everything that a good principal, a good superintendent would need. I'm a little shocked that being a principal was that high up on the staff side, but I get where they're coming from. I just didn't expect it to be quite that high, but
Right.
it's still something in the background needs to be there, so.
Right. Okay. Well, unless there's anything else, any questions you have or anything else you want to add to the profile, that's all from my end. You'll hear from me pretty soon after the close of your application. The
Could
close of the
you-
applications on the 24th. The only other sort of housekeeping item would be whether or not you want to firm up the tentative date that we have set on March 1.
That would be my next question as far as trying to get some possible dates, to go ahead and think, because I mean, it's not that far away.
I don't want to put you on the spot. And some
No.
people don't like to figure it out right now, and they like to figure it out later.
That's
But
fine.
if you would like to figure it out now,
No.
it's good to think about it. And of course, we can change it. If you end up you need more time to look at the applications, or something comes up, we need to move the date for whatever reason, we can.
Yeah.
But it might be helpful to firm up a date. Right now, we have March 1 set, but I can do any date.
One thought we had, this will be later in the agenda, but our March regular meeting, we're going to move up to the 7th,
Okay. Yeah.
which is a Tuesday. So it would be possible to have that meeting for this on the 9th, our regular night.
So meet on the 9th. Okay. Yeah. The 9th, is that a Thursday?
Thursday. A Thursday.
It is a Thursday. Yeah.
I think the original timeline had March 6th.
Yeah.
What the
Oh, did it?
tentative timeline
Oh,
sent out.
sorry.
No, you're good.
No, you're
I don't know
good.
if I
And
changed it.
since we've got to move the regular meeting up to the 7th, we can just fill this in what would normally.
I
be
did
the
have,
spot.
sorry about that. I did have March 6th. Right. I give you the materials on the 1st, but it's okay. So come on the 9th. And do you know where you want to do that? Some folks want to do that. It's okay to do it at the central office or at a high school, but it's the more confidential, the better. It's not that we couldn't find a place that's confidential here.
Anybody opposed to having it? The counties had invited us to use their conference room if we ever wanted to.
I think
Anybody?
it'd be good for something like this.
So
just
we'll-
because there shouldn't be anybody else.
No,
Everybody was-
we'll tentatively plan on the conference room at the county complex. We'll just need to verify it's open.
Okay. So I'll just talk to you about that. Okay. March 9th, County Complex.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
School safety and security update, Mr. Mike Lawrence.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I got some tissues. We're good, we're good, okay. Real quick, we're gonna, some updates, you're gonna hear a discussion in a few minutes about some fencing behind Grand and CIS we'd like to get done. We are gonna do the mock wreck this year. Got the cars, reached out to EMS, trying to get Nightingale locked down like we have in the past, right behind here. Talked to the sheriff the other week. We have a meeting tomorrow. They're gonna do their normal role. Gonna have so I have two cars in the back, car in the front. Talking with Tim for the SAD program to put a banner on, so we'll get back going. There was some discussion among some of the principals and administrators about having some mental health aspect of safety and security for staff. So I've reached out to Keith Ham, and he's interested in coming in, providing some free training for staff, integrated family services, and can come in and do something with staff training, de-escalation, whatever we want to talk about. And it's completely free. So I just get with Dr. Twyford and the school, some of the principals, and see how they feel and what they want to move forward with that. Talked with at the last safety, we got one more quarterly safety meeting that we set up. And the last one we discussed, one thing that came up, and I actually talked with Ben the other day at Parks and Rec about it, was lighting along Nobblet Drive. I guess the county's looking at lighting around the park area, but there's a lot. I don't think it should be completely on you, to be honest. But there's a lot of activities after hours that go on at CIS. And if you walk out of the back of CIS and go to your car or try to drive, it's extremely dark along Nobblet Drive. And that whole side, we're putting more lighting on the playground side, but for safety for pedestrians leaving, we just have been lucky, and it would just do well to have more lighting along there. I think it's the Minion that feeds through there, I think, but I'm not sure, not 100% sure. But so I'm going to be trying to have some discussions with him on that shortly. Any questions? Everybody good? All right.
Thank
Shake
you.
your hand real quick.
Sure thing, sir.
Want a hug? I'll hug her. Chris want a
Whatever
hug.
you need. Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening, Mr. Lazar.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to showcase Camden County High School. This year has been going really fast, but it's been going really well. Seeing the students that have been with me starting at Grandy every single day has truly been amazing. Seeing their characters and how far they've come, it's really been a blessing for me to see throughout the year so far. Our staff is up to doing some great things, and it's getting better every single day. I did just want to thank the staff and the students and the community for their support as I took the new role here as principal of Camden County High School. Just in traditional fashion, we're going to just play a video and let the pictures and some of our students speak for themselves. And Ms. Wendell made this video, so thank you.
All right, my name is Maya, and I'm here with
Brett.
and Coach Harnley. And so, Coach Harnley, what do you love most about CCHS?
The kids. You know, this is my 29th year here, 28th year here. I got here in 95, and what's kept me is the kids I get to deal with every day from 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. on workout days to 3:30. You can't beat that. And that's why I've stayed.
Coach, what are you most looking forward to this next semester?
It's always good. It's not that I'm not going to miss the kids from the fall semester, but a semester long of 90 minutes every day with the same faces is kind of good to get to see some new faces. As the basketball coach, I look forward to the playoffs. But, you know, teaching new kids, like today's the first day that I'm actually in the weight room with them, kind of seeing where kids are and where I need to get them, and watching them improve every day is what I like best.
All right, thank you so much, Coach.
All right, thank y'all.
I'm Angelina.
I'm Romeo, and we're interviewing
Miss Parker. Who's your favorite administrator in the school?
I will really have to say my favorite is Marlo, because I just like his sense of humor, and I think we kind of share the same sense of humor. And
what was your highlight of this year so far?
well, y'all are gonna be mad, but my highlight of this year has been the freshmen,
How are you going to disrespect us like that?
because they have participated in everything that we have had.
We are now here with Brandon James. Who's your favorite administrator? At the high school?
Yes.
It's a tough question.
What's your highlight of this school year?
My highlight of the school year is to put a smile on everyone, at least one person's face a day.
So we're here with Mr. Barlow, the assistant principal, and my question for you is, what is the highlight of your year so far?
So far, the highlight of my year has been attending all the athletic events. Our athletic teams here are really, really strong. Obviously, our girls volleyball team made a deep run into the playoffs. So watching all that kind of, unfold has been kind of the highlight.
And what's your favorite part about being an assistant principal?
That's a great question, Mike, because I really don't know what my favorite part is. I like the whole total picture. I do enjoy being around students. I like having an impact on the whole school. Really, it's like working with teachers and kids. So I like to be in the go-between. And then also, work with other people in my profession too. Like I have a great other assistant principal, Miss Wendell. And then Mr. Lazar, principal. So working as an administrative team has been pretty good.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Xavier Wiggins, and this is
Riley Scott.
and
Summer Forbes.
and we're just doing this for y'all. What is your favorite extracurricular activity?
My favorite extracurricular activity is our school's spirit committee.
What does that consist of?
The spirit committee is myself and two other seniors. We go out of our way and buy materials with basically the Hype Squad's distributors. We buy everything to get all the other students involved and come out to more games and not feel like it's a need, but like they want to. It's to have fun.
Oh my God. What is the most memorable thing that you have experienced at Camden?
I would probably say prom, because it's really fun.
What did you do at prom?
Dance. It's fun.
Yeah. All right, and we're here with Q. You gotta ask the question, bro.
What do you look forward to most?
I look forward to graduating in June.
Who is the teacher that has made the most impact on you?
I probably have to say either Miss Duncan or Miss B because they're really teachers I can just go and talk to about stuff I'm working on and stuff. Yeah.
Awesome.
We are now here with,
Miss Felicia.
and what is something you enjoy about Camden County?
The love and the peace and the joy. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
She's been videoing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, Coach.
It just doodled on your hand.
All right, no, stop.
That was great. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Student board member update, Miss Alexis McCoy and Lila Formby.
Okay, good evening. I will be presenting on Grandy Primary School and Camden Intermediate School. Grandy Primary School has had a great month filled with many learning activities, celebrations, and community events. Last week they held their first bingo event since COVID. This event was a real hit and more than 500 participants came and many businesses were donating items. They would like to thank the PTO staff and families for making this night such a big success. GPS would like to give a big shout out to Mrs. Banks and all that she does for our school staff and the community and recognize her during School Counselors Week. Events this month is the AR Celebration, Share the Love Week to recognize their bus drivers and cafeteria staff. February 15th is the 100th day of school and School Resource Officer Day. GPS would like to thank Officer Winders for all that he does and celebrate this day with him. Officer Winders has been a great role model and inspiration to all the students at Grandy. He takes the time to talk with the students and play games at recess, eat lunches with classes, and keeps everyone at GPS safe. Thank you, Officer Winders, for all your hard work. The next book fair is on February 27th to March 10th, and all are welcome to come purchase books and spend time reading with your family. Camden Intermediate School. The first semester is now over. NCIS held a social for the students. Students who met their AR goal were invited to a glow party, and a big thank you to Miss Deanne DeBrito for all she did to ensure students had a great time. This week is National School Counselor Week. GPS appreciates all that Dr. Weisinger does for the students and staff. Next week, they will celebrate 100 days of school, and it's also Spread the Love Week. They will celebrate the bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and SRO officer and custodian. Thank you.
Good evening. First up for Camden Middle School, they had their winter semi-formal, which was a huge success. Everyone was dressed to the nines and had a great time. Everyone is looking forward to the Shamrock Shindig Social that the PTS is hosting next month. Many of the students competed in the Camden Women's Club Writing and Art Contests. There were 4 students who received awards for their writing and 5 students received awards for their art. This week, they were celebrating their school counselor, and next week, they will be recognizing the work of their school resource officers. On February 17th, students and staff from Camden County High School and Camden County Area College will be coming
to the middle school to talk to the rising ninth graders about the opportunities available to them in the high school. For Camden County High School, starting off with the varsity boys basketball team, they won 63-17 at the ECSU's border clash against Greenbrier Christian Academy, which was a big deal. And then two high schoolers, Ariana Thompson and Harrison Bronson, and one early college student, Lily Murphy, were represented at the all-district band, where Ariana will continue on to the state auditions in March. She represents Camden County High School in the North Carolina East Region Jazz Assembly. In January the 18th, the Camden County High School cheerleaders took us back to the 2000s by wearing uniforms from 2000 to 2018 at the home basketball game against Pascal Tank. Staying with sports, the swim hosted their senior night and recognized their fellow seniors for their competing this year. And the JROTC took a field trip to the U.S. Coast Guard base Elizabeth City, where they explored different career opportunities on base. Next was the ECSU field trip for 11th and 12th graders. Ms. Clemens, the school counselor, took them. The students had a great time and got posted on the ECSU Instagram story, which was a big deal. Starting in February, we are congratulating all the Camden County High School students who were recognized for the Camden Women's Club for their participation in the writing contest. Chase Jopp took home a first place win in poetry. We also want to congratulate Madison Ross on her first place win in computer graphics for the Camden Women's Club Local Arts Festival. Her work will be taken to the upcoming District Art Festival. The high school swim team competed in the North Carolina HSAA East Regionals. On February 5th, Chris Whitehurst was voted an Award of Excellence by the NCBA Eastern District. Colton Williams was our first semester winner of the Positive Student Referral Drawing. Students were nominated by teachers for going above and beyond around the school and rewarded with candy. Camden County High School held a drawing with all of the students nominated in the first semester, and Colton won a $100 Amazon and a $100 Vans gift card. Coach Sundberg and multiple students went to the Camden County Food Bank at Methodist Church to help volunteer for community service hours, unloading and loading up the food truck. The Bruins Supporting Bruins is hosting a raffle for 2 small baskets. Tickets are being sold through Allison Harris and at Friday's basketball game. A winner will be announced at halftime during the boys varsity game. This week is National School Counselors Week. Thank you to Ms. Clemens for all of the work that you do. And next Wednesday, the JRTC will be holding a marksmanship competition at John A. Holmes, where we'll be competing in air rifle with 4 other schools. The Fall Sports Award Night is February 22nd. And the 24th, the JRTC will be hosting their first cadet challenge with 5 other schools, which consists of pull-ups, sit-ups, a shuttle run, B-sit, and a mile run. For the early college, January 4th began the second semester. They had students partaking in the ACT prep course in hopes of better preparing them for the ACT exam on March 7th and March 9th. The Parent Action League of the Early College held their first Waffle Wednesday of the new semester, and many students participated in the sneaker ball. For the month of January, Ms. Jackson and Ms. Lage held the first early college puzzle challenge, with the winner being Matthew Weddett, being the first to solve the puzzle. The puzzle requires students to use their math and science skills to solve. For the month of January, Madison Wood and Liliana Santiago were recognized in our Student Spotlight Award. They were nominated for being outstanding students. On February 2nd, some of the students from both the high school were able to tour East Carolina University. And finally, Mr. Castillo just held his first coffee with the principal session on Wednesday, February 7th from 6 to 7. He will be having these sessions on the second Wednesday of each month, and the next one being Wednesday, March 8th. Anyone is interested in a good cup of Colombian coffee can come and join him. Thank you.
Financial update, any questions or anything we need to review? Action agenda, Mr. Larry Lawrence with fencing at Grandy Primary School and CIS. Evening.
After meeting with the safety committee, SRO officer, and the principals, they want to extend the fence between Grandy and the parks. It's a 4-foot fence, runs just behind CIS now. We want to extend it all the way out to the driveway for Grandy Primary with 2 5-foot gates in it. That's approximate cost of about $13,400. And I need to get your permission to do that if that's what you'd like to do. But like I said, the safety committee and SO officer think it would help as far as maybe trying to keep people off the Grandy primary grounds. At least be able to have a line that they know not to go by. And we'll be putting some signs on it and everything.
And Larry, is the funding source?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we have a safety grant that we have received to cover that expense. So it's not coming out of any of our capital money.
Any questions?
And without any questions, my recommendation is that you approve the installation of the fence as presented by Mr. Lawrence.
Had a motion. Do we have a second? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion to approve fencing at GPS and CIS is approved.
Thank you.
Dr. Farrell with Policy Code 3515, religion in the schools.
At your last board meeting, you expressed interest in opening our Board of Education meetings with an invocation instead of a moment of silence, and that is addressed in Board Policy 3515. And so you've seen the language for the change in the policy to allow that. And my recommendation is that you table that for the customary review unless the attorney would advise you that you can go ahead and vote to approve it tonight. I know that some of you might have some interest in that.
Free to do either. No issue either way.
We had discussed tabling it just to review and compare it to another policy. So
Motion to table it. Normal review period.
we've had a motion to table policy 3515 for a customary review period. Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Rescheduling of the March 9th, 2023 board meeting. Dr. Farrell.
Due to scheduling conflicts, it's necessary to look at a change to your regularly scheduled March meeting, which is currently scheduled for March 9th, 2023. And I believe after some discussion with each of you and the incoming interim superintendent, the recommendation would be to move that meeting to Tuesday, March 7th, 2023.
Do we have a motion to reschedule the March 9th, 2023 board meeting to March the 7th?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We will move the March 9th meeting to March 7th. R&B cleaning service, Mr. Larry Lawrence, to discuss the approval of the quote.
Believe in your package this week. You got on Monday of this week, I got a phone call mid-morning that ABM, our cleaning contract for our schools, was exercising their contract with a 30-day notice they can drop us. So March 3rd is our last day in our building. We got a certified letter backing that up Wednesday. Buddy Mickey, the maintenance director, myself, have been scrambling, trying to figure out what we're going to do. And we've had a little bit of business with R&B in the past for little things. And we've talked to them, and they're willing to come in here and take it over. We're going to talk about it till at least June. Let me get through the school year. They want to come in at 31,275 a month. ABM right now we're paying them 24,800, and we budgeted for them to go to 35,000, which I wouldn't approve it because of the quality of work that they were doing and things were going on. I wouldn't approve their increase. So we have the money. It's well within our budget, and it's hard to get somebody quickly to come in and start cleaning a school. And I think RBM is ready to go. So I'm asking for your permission to move forward and bring them on in.
One thing that I think is important to mention, if it's okay,
Sure.
Mr. Lawrence, is that this R&B is willing to come in and get ahead of this and offer employment to the current ABM employees, because ABM's next closest contract, I believe, is in Roanoke Rapids.
That's correct.
So all of these employees would actually lose their jobs if that didn't happen. And so R&B is willing to do that. And I think that's important for these employees and their families. So if, without questions, that would be my recommendation, that you approve R&B a contract with R&B Cleaning Service to carry us through June 30 of 2023 to finish out the academic year.
Motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for R&B cleaning services contract through June 30th. We have a motion to approve R&B cleaning services. Do we have a second? Second. Ms. O'Neill made a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
May I add one more thing? I'm one member, and there's three of us other here that's on his senior cabinet. One of them's not here tonight, and I want to publicly say that it's been a pleasure working with him on the cabinet, and I think we've accomplished a lot together as a team. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Mr. Flip. The superintendent's recommendations from closed session for employment of personnel.
Yeah, it's my recommendation that you approve the personnel report for February 9th, 2023 as presented by Ms. Davis in closed session.
Heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do we have a motion?
Motion approved.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any announcements?
The time change of the joint meeting.
Scheduled joint meeting for Monday evening. It is now been advertised at 5:30 for closed session. Open session would begin at 6:30 at the county complex. Any other announcements? The March 9th.
Motion for the March 9th
Mm-hmm.
meeting. So, make a motion for, we have a meeting on March 9th, closed session with closed session, school board certification, superintendent search, and location of the county complex.
Yeah.
Regular time, 6 o'clock.
Works for me.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll be attending a conference with the county commissioners. It's a working together conference. It's a funding seminar of how school boards and the county commissioners work together to fund our operation. Anyone on the school board is welcome to join. If you are interested, it's a Friday, and please let Miss Anita know. Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming out.